Back in January, I set off on a journey to drive the entire coastline of mainland Scotland while living full-time in my van. And after months of making my way north, I've now reached Scotland's north coast, where this week the road takes me deeper into Sutherland. But Scotland, it seems, has other ideas. With the wind picking up and the rain refusing to leave me alone, I make my way along some of the most dramatic stretches of coastline in the country, discovering remote beaches, tiny harbours, and thousands of years of history along the way. And when the clouds eventually hide almost everything I've come here to see, sometimes you've just got to keep moving, because there's a reason I brought myself all the way out here. Back at the beginning of this journey, I promised myself I'd get fitter, push myself a little harder, and start saying yes to some of the challenges I'd normally find an excuse to avoid. And tomorrow morning, I'm about to find out whether any of that has actually worked, because somewhere above those clouds is the summit of Ben Hope, the most northerly Munro in Scotland. What a start it has been on my adventure along the north coast of Scotland. For those of you that have been watching this series from the start on my journey around the entire coast, you'll know I set off in January and I finally completed the end of the east coast at the end of June. And after a bit of time off in July, I am now back at it, and last week's episode kicked off the beginning of the north coast section of the country, and it was an absolute cracker. If you've not watched that yet, I would highly recommend you do so. And if you're new here and you haven't seen any of my content before and haven't seen any of this series but would like to, there is a playlist on my channel and you'll find the link to it in the description of this video as well. I really hope you enjoy catching up if you do plan to do so. It's been an epic adventure so far, and it's only going to continue to get even better as I continue this journey around the north coast and then down the full west coast of Scotland. Honestly, it is going to be spectacular. And of course, I'm doing it all living in this van. I am going to be celebrating 4 years living in this van in October this year, which is quite a big thing really. It goes against so much of what we think and about how we should live. For me, you know, you need to have the house, you need to have a car, you need to have this type of car, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's been really nice just kind of being able to let go of that and kind of live my true self. It's not for everyone, and it's not all sunshine and roses, far from it, as I've shown on various different episodes through this series. As well, there are challenges along the way. It's just, you're still living life at the end of the day. But it's been an incredible adventure. My first stop today, I'm just going to be heading along the north coast west through Thurso and then carrying on down to Tongue. Because later on in the episode, it's time for my first test. If you've been following along, you'll know that my plan when I'm coming down the west certainly is to do a lot more hiking again, maybe some summit camps and other types of hiking as well and camping. And I really don't have the fitness for it. It's been 18 months since I did my last hike up in Munro with my son, and that was in the Cairngorms back in February last year. Yes, I went to Switzerland for those that have followed along and did some hikes, did some Via Ferratas, but generally the hiking was going up on a cable car and hiking down rather than hiking up mountains. So I don't have my mountain fitness yet, and very shortly we're going to be coming to a section of the north coast where you have Ben Hope, which is the most northerly Munro in Scotland, and I am going to attempt it later in this episode, but the weather is looking pretty horrendous for the next couple of days. So I have done the Munro before, I didn't get views, and I don't know if I'm going to get views this time either. I will definitely try for you. You know, this isn't a hiking episode. When I'm doing all these hikes, they're never going to be hiking episodes where it's just a hike of a mountain. That's not what my channel is. This is a van life journey, and it's my journey. It's my personal journey around the coast. So it'll be a whole mix of everything, with maybe some hiking and walks and stuff edited in, like always, like in earlier episodes with the Big Burn Walk or the Manny Hike. And hopefully I'll be able to show you some incredible summit views with my cameras and my drone whilst I'm up there for you to enjoy it as well. I know that many of you watching might not be capable of hiking up to a mountain like that, so it's great for someone sitting at home in that situation to be able to see it through my lens, and that's what I hope to bring to you. Then I have to do it in the rain. It's not what I would usually do. I'm a fair weather hiker, definitely, because I like to get the views. That's why I do it. I don't do it to touch a trig point, you know. I maybe need to put myself out of my comfort zone a little bit, like we all do from time to time, to try and get my fitness up for what's to come. So that's the plan. But I was checking online earlier on my phone, and where I'm parked here at Dunnet Bay in the council car park, where I left you off after my surfing lesson here last week. Who knew that some of the best surfing in the world was in Caithness in Scotland? I certainly didn't, but that was an awesome experience. And I did notice just along at the other side of the beach towards Castletown, I don't know if it's classed as the same beach or not, if it's Dunnet Bay, or is it Dunnet Beach and then Castletown Beach, I'm not sure. But I did notice there's another sauna around there, so I'm going to go and just have a wee drive past it. I'm not going to be using it today or whatever. I just want to have a little drive past and see if there's anyone there that I can speak to, because as you know, I'm trying to promote local businesses and a buy local message and speak to local people from the area and get their thoughts on, you know, what it's like to live here, what it's like to run a business here, what is their business and things like that, because I'm really trying my best to promote a buy local message and try and raise awareness of businesses or activities that people can do in certain areas that they might not have been aware of, to try and, you know, bring some more business into the area and help them thrive. You know, this has all happened by accident. All my following and social media, I don't know how much it is now, about 850,000 or whatever. This happened by accident. I didn't set out to do this. People just started following along on my journey. It was never really meant to become my job. It's just kind of happened really randomly, and I feel like if I've got a platform like that across social media, then I want to use it for good. I find a lot of negativity on social media, and a lot of big accounts spreading hate and just negative connotations on everything. And I know that's what the algorithms love. They love controversy, and they love basically showing it from all different angles to different people. I'm just so exhausted by it. I really am. And I'd made the decision that if I was going to do this, I wanted to try and promote a positive message and be positive, you know, and because I'm a positive person and I love being a positive person. I was depressed for many years, as many of you know from watching these episodes. I've talked about it quite openly. I'm now a really, really positive person, and I want to promote a positive message and use my audience in a positive way. And if I can help local people and local communities spread the word and do a bit of free marketing for them, and I'm not asking for anything in exchange, but just help them out. You know, it's so difficult as a small business for you to market effectively. Social media is the best form of marketing these days. It's no longer papers and radio and things like that. And I worked in sales and marketing for many years before changing to a life working offshore. And now I do this. So I know how difficult it is for small businesses to do that. So if I can help them, just because I've got an audience, then I'm going to bloody do it. And yes, don't worry about that. 5:30, I still get comments about it. That'll never change. That's a private joke and a bit of a nod of respect from me to one of my best friends. We both went through the ringer together. We both came out of it, and that is an ode to him, and he watches these episodes. That's why it'll never change from 5:30. But the actual time is 6:30 in the morning, so I don't know, I'll maybe get there at the back of 7, see if there's anyone there. It could be open, it might not be, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you there. Well, honestly, what are the chances of that? I came down on the off chance, and the owner of the sauna, Corin, is actually here walking his dog. So he's invited me in, he's opened it up. They're not open today or anything, but he's opened it up to let me have a look inside and just have a wee chat. So, let's go. Well, hey folks, like I said, I bumped into Corin walking Cala here. Yeah. So listen, thank you very much for inviting me in. I know you're not open today.
I know, it's a shame, but typical on a day like this, it would be perfect.
It would be actually, to be fair. It is pretty miserable. Yeah. It is. Yeah. How you doing? But no, well, I mean, it's sort of caught me off guard, but whilst I've got you here, can you just tell us a little bit more about yourself, about this place? That'd be perfect.
So I guess I'm Corin. I've been in Caithness about 3 years now, but started coming up here like as a wee boy to surf and just fell in love with the place. So then a few years, me and my wife Jasmine were sort of figuring out where to go and what to do, and we've landed up here, and we totally love it. Like, we surf and love the kind of outdoors and nature, and it's great for the dog. So we've kind of settled into a life that we really enjoy up here. And then the sauna I think I tried my first sauna about 5 or 6 years ago in Findhorn. I don't know if you've tried that one, Watershed.
I didn't, but Findhorn's stunning place, isn't it?
And just had like the most amazing experience with our family and saw dolphins, and I was like kind of hooked from that point. I was like, this is such a cool idea and concept, and then joked a few times with like friends and family being like, oh, you should build a sauna, and then it kind of was like a little idea for a while, and then a few years ago I started designing it, and I'm a design engineer by trade. I sort of started designing it and thinking about how to build one, and then it kind of started as a little model on the screen, then became a business plan, and then a few things fell into place, and it all kind of just like happened a few years ago.
Wow.
And built it about last spring, and then it's been up and running for the last year and a bit now.
Fantastic.
So, that's the kind of story in a nutshell, I suppose.
And can I just ask, because I noticed, obviously, when I was looking last night, Clachmara, is that Gaelic? What does that actually mean?
Clach means stone,
right?
And Mara means sea. So it was basically stone of the sea. Yeah. Just kind of inspired by the coastline up here. It's a lot of stone, a lot of sea. Yeah. And my name's Gaelic, so I've always been interested in like finding Gaelic words for things. So
I really like it. And I take it you're, just for anyone watching, you're on Facebook, got your own website, all that kind of stuff. And
like Facebook, Instagram, website, and we're kind of settled in Castletown for the summer, and then I'm going to trial another location over the winter, a harbour on the east coast that's got a bit more shelter and a few facilities, and kind of keeping things mobile but trying to settle into a few kind of key locations and see what happens over the next couple of years. But
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, listen, if I'm ever back up this way or I'm on the east coast, I'll definitely give you a shout for a session. I'd love one. You've done such a great job with this. It's stunning as well. So no.
That's what I'm off to do my other job, which is designing and engineering stuff. So that's why we're not open today. But that's part of the juggling act.
I know. But I don't think people. I mean, I've visited a lot of seaside saunas on this road trip, and I don't think people truly appreciate like how much work actually goes into them and all the rest of it. You're here 2 hours before even getting the fire lit and all the rest of it as well. But there's a lot of work to it. Yeah. There is. But no, listen, I wish you all the very best. So.
No worries. Yeah.
Honestly, and thanks so much for bringing me
right.
out. I'm glad you had the keys.
I'm glad we crossed paths and got a chance to at least have a chat. So
no, great. Thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
With everything packed away again, I left Corin and the sauna behind and continued west
passing through Thurso and following the north coast towards Tongue. The weather, unfortunately, was coming with me. But there's something about this part of Scotland that seems to suit days like this. My first stop was Melvich Beach, a huge sweep of sand sitting at the mouth of the River Hallidale. And despite it being the middle of summer, I had the entire place pretty much to myself. There'd been no long walks along the beach today. The rain was still falling, the wind was picking up, but with those dark clouds hanging over the coastline, I'm not sure I'd have wanted blue skies anyway. There was something wild about it. And the further west I travelled, the more that feeling seemed to grow. Just a few miles further along the coast, I reached Portskerra, a tiny harbour tucked beneath the cliffs near Melvich. On a day like this, there wasn't much happening down here either, just the sound of the sea, the wind coming off the water, and another little corner of the north coast that, for a few minutes at least, I had completely to myself. Then it was back into Skye and onwards again. By the time I reached Strathy, the clouds had somehow become even moodier, but tucked beyond the dunes was another enormous stretch of sand, Strathy Bay, and once again, not another person in sight. I think it would have been very easy to look at the forecast this morning and write the whole day off. I wasn't getting the Scotland you see on postcards. The mountains were disappearing, the beaches were grey, and every time I stepped out of the van, I seemed to get wet. But travelling this coastline was never supposed to be about waiting for perfect conditions. Some days, Scotland gives you sunshine and turquoise water. Other days, it gives you empty beaches, angry skies, and a coastline that feels considerably more remote than it probably is. And today, I was quite happy to take the latter. But the landscape is only part of the story up here, because as I continued west towards Bettyhill, I was about to stop somewhere that tells a much deeper, and at times far more difficult, story of the people who once called this part of Sutherland home. My next stop, the Strathnaver Museum. Housed inside the former parish church of St Columba, Strathnaver Museum tells the story of around 8,000 years of human life here in northwest Sutherland. Its collections take you from the area's ancient past, through traditional crofting, agriculture and fishing, to Clan Mackay and one of the most difficult chapters in Highland history, the clearances. In fact, this very building played a part in that story. From the pulpit that still dominates the main gallery, the Reverend David Mackenzie was forced to read eviction notices to his own congregation during the Highland clearances. Elsewhere, the displays give you a glimpse into everyday working life here, the tools people used, how they worked the land, and the importance of fishing to these remote coastal communities. But some of the history here predates all of that by more than 1,000 years. Standing beside the church is the Farr Stone, an intricately carved Pictish monument thought to date from around the 9th century, around about 800 to 850 AD. Its centrepiece is this beautifully decorated ring cross, and although nobody knows exactly who it commemorates, it is thought to have marked the grave of an important local figure. Wow. Now, I am absolutely soaking. It's pouring rain, but I'm telling you right now, that Farr Stone is just so worth it. The level of detail in those Pictish carvings on that stone, considering it's been battered by the weather and all the rest of it, it is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. That was worth it on its own, but the museum was great, and so was the annex. Really impressed. Only £7.50 to get in, and there's loads there about obviously the different sort of history from the area, covering the Picts and the clearances obviously as well, and trade. Just a little bit of everything, you know, salmon farming, conservation and all that kind of stuff as well in the annex. But like, it was just superb. I absolutely love this area. I'm getting hungry now though, so I'm just going to nip along to the store, bar and bistro. That's my usual stop when I come here, and hopefully pick something up and then carry on along to Tongue. That'll be kind of the next stop really, and I have a judgment call to make as to whether or not I do one of the walks there. It's a good probably hour and a half, and in this weather it's pretty miserable, I'm not gonna lie. Not really gonna get the views I wanted if I hike up there. Anyway, we'll take it as it comes. Oh, now this is very much needed. Bacon, haggis and tatty scone. Ho ho! Get in my belly. It's so cool in there. I just love it. All the instruments at the weekend. You know, local musicians will come down and play and pick up an instrument. It must be a great atmosphere in there at the weekends. I'd love to come back here at some point for a weekend like that. I think it would be a great night. And it's just cool. Little cool quirky bar, all the cool signs as well. Twat being my favourite one, without a doubt. But anyway, time to get tucked into this before we hit the Tongue. One of the things I really love about travelling this way is that I don't always need to know exactly where I'm going to end up. I'll have a rough route planned, then I'll open Google Maps, start looking around, and every so often something appears that makes me think, what on earth is that? And somewhere between Bettyhill and Tongue, I found this, the unknown. A giant skeleton standing in the middle of Borgie Forest. Obviously, I was going. A short trail climbs through Borgie Glen to a clearing above the trees, and even in weather like this, there was something quite atmospheric about heading off through the forest, looking for a 9-foot skeleton. Created by Scottish artist Kenny Hunter and permanently installed here in 2012, the Unknown was designed specifically for this remote landscape, with Hunter drawing inspiration from the history, folklore and stories of the people who once lived across this part of Sutherland. Made from cast iron, its surface has naturally weathered and rusted over time, helping this strange skeletal figure become part of the landscape around it, and he certainly picked himself a decent spot. The Unknown stands out looking across Borgie Forest towards Ben Loyal and Ben Hope, apparently, because much like everything else I've tried to look at today, the mountains were in there somewhere. Oh man, I just love this drive heading to Tongue from here. It's just beautiful, and with the clouds and everything, it's all misty and mysterious looking. It's just great. You'll notice there, I pulled in randomly. There was no car coming the other way to a passing place, but that was to let a car go by that was behind me. They were looking like they were wanting to go at a bit more pace. It might have been local, I don't know. If you're up here and on this route along the north coast of Scotland, a little bit of common courtesy goes a really long way if you're in a larger vehicle. Even a van like mine, never mind a motorhome or whatever. If there's cars behind you or a car behind you, you know, it can't pass you. So that's what the passing places are also for. They're not just for oncoming traffic. And I think a lot of people forget that. They're actually there to let traffic behind you go ahead as well. You know, these roads, the speed limit might be 60 miles an hour, but if you're in a bigger vehicle, you're not going anywhere near that, especially when you're going downhill and things like that. So just a bit of, you know, a bit of courtesy goes a long way, especially with the locals in this area. Look at that. Stunning. Wow. Fantastic. Look at that beach. Just pulled in here. You need to see this beach. Look at that. Wowee. Just noticed back there, used to turn down that road to go across the causeway. I first started coming up here, but just with the volume of traffic, it used to be caravans, no caravans, but now it's no caravans, no campervans, no motorhomes. So please just use the main road, go right into Tongue past the hotel. That's just another one of those sort of things that, like, just abide by the signs, man. If you're in a larger vehicle, trust me, things will go better for you if you're up here. I'd originally planned to stop in Tongue and walk up to Castle Varich, but with the rain still falling and the mountains completely hidden by cloud, I decided to give that one a miss and keep moving west. Even crossing the Kyle of Tongue, I knew there was an incredible landscape surrounding me. I just couldn't see much of it. So a few days later, when Scotland finally gave me some decent weather, I nipped back, because I couldn't show you this place looking like that when I knew it could look like this. This road is just as I remembered it. It's pretty treacherous. There's plenty of potholes, you need to take your time. It's only 8 miles to basically the start point of the hike. I'm not going there, but it would take 22 minutes to go there. The last thing you want is a blown tyre here. You are nowhere up here. That would be torture. With the weather showing no real signs of improving, I followed one final little road into the middle of nowhere and find myself a quiet spot near Loch Hope to settle in for the night. Because tomorrow morning I had a decision to make, whether I was actually going to attempt Ben Hope or not. Anyway, let's check out this weather report for Ben Hope. So plus 95% chance of rain from now right through. Basically the same tomorrow. Thursday's all mist as well, so there's no point in waiting. I'm not going to get any views anyway. My gut right now is telling me just to go for it, because this was my first Munro in a while. It's part of my training for what's to come, especially on the west coast as I make my way down. I'm going to be doing a lot of hiking, and I've not hiked in a long time. It's part of my fitness, and I feel like because this isn't something that I would normally do. I would never normally go hiking up a mountain when it's really poor weather and rain, because I do it for the views. But I feel like I'm in the mood to push myself and challenge myself a bit mentally and physically. And if I put myself out of my comfort zone and do something I've never really done before in that sense, I may as well just go for it, because it's all about getting the fitness sort of levels up. So I'm feeling like I want to go and do it right now. Let's see how I feel in the morning once I get up. But I feel like I want to go for it. I do. I feel like, yeah, let's go and get this done. You're here now. You've spent a fortune on, really good waterproofs. So I may as well use them. Yeah. Anyway, let's get food done. Oh man, these look delicious. Look at that. Oh, who doesn't love a bratwurst, man? They're just awesome. I have got this mustard and tomato sauce all over my moustache and beard. Fucking all over me.
I am a street level drug dealer.
Don't be like that.
Close.
Breakfast was done, the cameras were packed, and there was no backing out now. Somewhere up there was the summit of Ben Hope. Whether I'd actually get to see it was another matter. But this journey was supposed to be about pushing myself, getting fitter, and doing things I'd normally avoid. So I guess it's time to find out what I'm really capable of. Ben Hope stands at 927 metres and holds the title of Scotland's most northerly Munro. The route itself is relatively short, around 4 3/4 miles there and back, but don't let that fool you. There's almost 950 metres of climbing packed into it, with a steep, wet and rocky start before eventually reaching the broad summit plateau. It takes somewhere between 4 and 6 hours to complete. So with plenty of mountain still above me, I settled into a pace and started making my way up. I mean, these waterfalls are stunning, but it's only at the very start of this hike. I've been so lucky so far with the weather. Hopefully it stays like this. We did see on the drive in that the summits looked like they were covered in cloud, so I don't know if I'm going to see anything up there, but it's a beautiful walk up to it. And I've never seen the waterfalls running this powerfully, and that's where the rain comes in, and that's why I love it. It's brilliant for waterfall hunting, and this is an absolute stunner. Plenty of pools to take a dip in as well. It's just gorgeous. I've got a long way to go. This is only the start. It's my first Munro in 18 months, so I better get moving. So I've just taken a little bit of a rest there. Done the first sort of 2 pushes. You're right into it from the start, and then it kind of levels off once you get past the waterfalls, but then you get another push which is pretty steep and kind of uneven ground and stuff like that. You just need to watch your footing. I'm just taking a little breather here. I am sweating. We're only about, I don't know, half an hour into it. I'm feeling it already. And I have realised that I've left my trekking poles in the van, which is kind of gutting. I haven't hiked without my trekking poles for a good couple of years. They make a huge difference, not to performance, just for helping prevent injury, which is really important to me, especially with what I'm thinking about taking on when I get along the west coast. So I need to be pretty careful, particularly when coming down. Certainly. So I'm just taking my time. I'm taking some breathers when I need it. There's no rush. The mountain's not going anywhere. I've prepared for the rain anyway, and it's not come yet, so I've been dead lucky. But this is a great viewpoint here. This big rock. It's a stunning view behind me. Right, so I'm just about an hour in now, and I've come to this area that's kind of plateauy again after another push up the hill, and you can actually see where we're going. If you look up here, we're coming around there. There's a path up there, and up on the hill you'll see what's called a cairn. You might not see it on the camera, but it's basically just a stack of stones up like a pyramid, and they help mark your way in the hills in Scotland. So we're curving round up to that point, and then if memory serves me right, once we get up there, it's kind of just more gentle up and down until we reach the summit. It's like like going along the spine of the mountain till we get to the summit, if memory serves me right. And I reckon once we get up there, we're going to be in the clouds. Well, just on that first push there, about halfway to the cairn, but look at that view behind me. Wow. When I spoke to you last, that's where I was standing 10 minutes ago. I can feel the rain coming on a wee bit now, so hood up and it's time to power on. I am struggling, I'm not going to lie. The legs are struggling, everything's a little bit tight, and I'm sweating my absolute tits off. But I'm loving it though, I'm enjoying it, but it is going to be a push, yeah, especially through the clouds and in the rain, definitely. But this is what I came here to do, so let's get it done. With the temperature dropping and the cloud getting thicker, I stopped to add another layer before making my final push towards the summit. And from here, the higher I climbed, the less of the mountain I could actually see. Before long, the landscape below me had disappeared completely, and all I could really do was keep following the path upwards. But every so often, the cloud would break just enough to reveal how far I'd already come. And with Loch Hope suddenly appearing far below, for the first time that morning, I started to believe I might actually do this. One last push through the cloud, and somewhere ahead of me was what I'd spent the entire morning working towards, the summit of Ben Hope. Well, I made it. The trig point's just behind me there. It's the second time I've done this from Munro, second time I've had absolutely no views. But I really needed that today. That had a little bit of everything. Not crazy rain though, like I expected, which has been nice. Might get it on the way down, but that was exactly what I needed. First Munro in 18 plus months. It's great to get it back in the legs, and that last sort of push up to that plateau before the summit, I really struggled. My outside of my quads kept on cramping, both of them, when I was straightening my legs. I had to shake them off a few times. It was pretty brutal. And that's another thing that I forgot today. So I forgot my trekking poles and I forgot my electrolytes that I usually bring with me, which was probably what was causing that cramping. I think I was just in a bit of a rush. This morning I've worn my really small Montane day pack. It's tiny. I wanted to try and minimise the weight on my back just for my first one, you know. And I've just got a dry bag in there with the extra layer, my mid layer, pair of gloves and my drone. I'm delighted that I did it. And only in 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is great. Walk Highland's website is 4 to 6 hour hike. And to do that with all the filming, it'll take me an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes to get back down. So I breezed it really. It was a bit of a struggle at times, but I'm really, really happy. I needed that. I needed to get it out of my system, and to do it on a iffy day, you know, just helps with that sort of. I could have stayed in bed or done something else, but I didn't. I committed to come up the mountain, and I came up it, and it might be a small hike for a lot of people watching this, or not really much of a challenge to get up to the top of this mountain, but it's my mountain today, and it was my challenge, and I succeeded. So I've got to allow myself to feel good about that, because I do. With Ben Hope officially ticked off, there was only one thing left to do: make my way back down. And I'll be honest, by this point my thoughts were already beginning to turn towards that enormous ribeye steak I picked up from Castletown Butchers in the previous episode. After everything I put my legs through today, I reckon I'd earned it. But before I could get back to Skye and fire up the pan, there was one last stop I wanted to make. That incredible waterfall that we saw on the way up that morning. And after several hours on the mountain, there couldn't have been many better places to cool off and give the legs a bit of recovery and get a wee wash before my dinner. Well, what a day. I just took the 10-minute drive back and parked up where I was last night again. I cannot wait for this. And I've just got my duck eggs that I got at the Dalmore farm en route back up north. Some broccoli, mushrooms, and I grabbed this. I usually make my own pepper sauce with a bit of cream, stock and pepper, but I got this out the butcher, so I'm going to try it. Never had it before, and it's just a bit easier and a bit quicker. So that's the plan. Oh man, now this is exactly what I'm needing. And I know some of you will be watching saying, oh, don't lather it on with the pepper sauce. I'll do what I want. I'll be dipping it in it anyway. I honestly can't wait to try this steak. It's going to be incredible. Oh man, just the perfect amount of pinkness. Wow, I'm glad I cooked it sort of medium rare, probably closer to medium actually. Now I'm in the centre of it. Ribeyes can be quite fatty, can't they? It's not like a fillet. Well everyone, thanks so much for joining me again. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. That was a hell of an adventure today. I reckon I'm going to be feeling pretty sore after it tomorrow for the next, well, at least tomorrow, maybe even the next day, I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens, but I really enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And please feel free to leave a like and a comment under the video. It would mean a great deal. You know, when a video gets lots of likes and lots of comments, YouTube go, ah, this must be quite a good video. There's loads of engagement. Okay, we'll show it to a wider audience. And that's how channels like mine grow ultimately. And of course, if you've not hit the subscribe button, please do so now. It's completely free to do it. And it will really help me grow my channel. I'll see you next Sunday. Like and subscribe for more van life adventures.